birthday kings, queens, and everything is in betweens. You look better with your cheeks. Don't remove them. Welcome back to another episode of the Peasant Party Podcast. Your favorite person is in studio. This is another sister episode today. I think it's been a minute since we've had one of these, just the two of us.
I think about 3 weeks.
Yeah. I did a lot of episodes that I recorded within the span of 2 weeks, and I've had a little bit of a hiatus. Is it hiatus or hiatus? I don't know. But yeah, now I'm back in studio. I feel like it's been since it's been a second, I feel like I'm a little rusty, but that's why we have a margarita. I'm cramming an ad into this, killing two birds with one stone. We're going to have margaritas over this episode by Mission Craft Cocktails. They make a bottled cocktail that is crafted with 100% agave tequila and orange liqueur with lime. At home, I have a Cosmopolitan, and then I believe it is a old-fashioned or a Manhattan, something like that. They make good drinks from what I've tried with the Cosmo. So we're going to try the margarita today. So, yay. Let's go Mission Craft Cocktails.
Nice.
Want to tell us how you've been while I pour your margarita?
Sure. I have been so good. I think the last update was, thank you so much, was right before Valentine's Day, right? Wasn't that the last episode we recorded? So right before Valentine's Day. Well, I'm pretty much getting married, so.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I met this guy 3 weeks ago, and I'm pretty much getting married to him, so.
Well, I got a wedding dress for you.
Oh, yeah, you did. They don't fit.
There's this company that keeps sending me wedding dresses on TikTok Shop.
They don't fit.
They sent one dress that was like a bodycon dress in white, and I was like, I think they sent it. And they sent more.
They keep sending them. How many times can a bitch get married?
I've gotten, yeah, I know. But if anyone wants to elope and you're a size small or medium, I like this. Their sizing is not consistent. But I've been receiving some wedding dresses.
Well, perfect. I'll wear a TikTok Shop wedding dress for my wedding in the backyard.
Yes.
That sounds great.
Well, how'd you meet this gentleman?
So that's the thing. I didn't meet him online, which is crazy because I think dating in the last year, it's almost like exclusively I'm meeting people online. I had kind of just resigned to the fact that I guess dating is just like a Hinge. You're just gonna have to. You're just gonna have to suck it up and go out and meet someone and hope for the best. But no, I actually met him. My friend Malin was staying with me, and we went to the bar across the street from my apartment. She's like, oh, a couple of my friends are going to come, and they were taking forever, weren't showing up. One of them comes in, I meet him, he's super nice, and I'm just chilling there at the bar, and then the other one walks in, and I was like, fuck. That's the hottest guy I've seen in my entire
Did you walk up to him, or did he walk up to you?
He walked up to us because I was with Malin, so he came up, but I was just like, oh, God, oh, my God, I was freaking out. But it was instantaneous. I'm so serious. I have never felt this before in my life. Terrifying. Ew, what the fuck? Having a crush is the most traumatic thing. I hate it. But I was like, you want to go outside and hang out and talk? So we went outside and we chatted for a long time, and we've pretty much hung out every single day since then.
Are you hanging out with him tonight?
Oh, yeah, we're watching the season finale of Love is Blind.
Oh, how
my
fun.
friends.
Fun.
Girly pop. I got some Chianti. I'm going to cook.
Oh,
I'm full married. I am wedded, okay? I'm a married woman.
Nice. I love that.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Yeah. Oh, I'm sipping. Oh, yeah, I just got my nails done, by the way. I asked him, what color should I get for my nails? And he said orange. Yeah. Orange nails. I had to come up with something that would look cute, and I think I did. So
you did.
Yeah, little French tips, little orange French tips.
I guess that's where the what's your favorite color question came in handy. But it's not a good first date question. It's a stupid.
Actually, wait, that's so funny because that was literally one of the first things that we talked about. He walked up and he was wearing a green sweatshirt, and I was like, what color would you say that is? And he was like, green. I was like, wrong. Try again. Be more specific. What color is that?
Okay, well, that's what color is that? That's not what's your favorite.
Well, and then we started talking about our favorite colors.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm wrong sometimes.
If you're an artist, it's an interesting question.
That's fair.
Think. If you're just you're just bozo, what's your favorite color? Yellow. No, babe.
Yellow.
Be descriptive.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, how are you?
I'm pretty good. It's also really warm outside. If you notice the shorts, it is about South by Southwest is about to start. Yep. I have no plans for it. Nobody's invited me to anything. I'm going to actually put this out as a plea. I'll do a clip.
My birthday's Monday.
I know. Happy birthday.
Thank you. We should do something for South by Southwesty.
As we should. Yeah, we should. But yeah, if you are a company that has cool things going on, we are
so available.
Celebrity influencers.
We are very available.
Yeah, we are very available.
So fun.
Give us free stuff.
We will come.
We will stir the pot. If you're a celebrity, come on this podcast. We're great hosts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Give us all the free stuff.
Listen, are you the type, okay, tell me this. Are you the type of person that can walk into an event confidently and get away with it? Like,
yes.
I'm not. I wish I was. I've had friends that can do it that are just like, move. And they can just get into anything.
That is the one
my
thing
poker
I've done
face
right
sucks.
in this life. Like, if someone thinks like, oh, 10 years of experience, I'll be like, yeah, I took a marketing. I'm like, I'll apply. Like, I'm not.
You are good at that, huh?
Or just like, oh, yeah, you just get standing like, oops, I didn't know. Like, play dumb.
Oh.
It works. I have a dumb face and it works.
I don't know what I can't put it on. I like something about my energy. People are like, you there, halt.
That's the one of, I'm not good at a lot of things. That's one of the few things I am good at.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
It works. But yeah, we're here for another episode. How do you feel about these margaritas?
Yeah, you know?
Yeah. I'm they're sweet. They're sweet.
They're good. I am gonna have another one, so
please do.
Right.
There's plenty left.
We're gonna kill this bottle. Okay.
They're not intended as big bottles.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to actually kind of pivot into, as we always do, dating news. What's viral?
Yeah.
And I wish this video was still up. It was up yesterday, but it looks like the original creator took it down. But there is a viral video on TikTok that is getting a lot of stitches. It's basically a creator. Her name is Caitlin Elizabeth. She, I believe, is a woman in her early 30s. She is herself single, never married. Does a lot of like corporate girly single type content, a lot of girl math type stuff. Believe she has like a couple 100,000 followers or something like that. Lighthearted stuff. But she made a TikTok saying, there is no wackier demographic for dating than a single man ages 36 to 39 who has never been married. She kind of goes into a kind of speech about how it's, such a wide variety. You see people, you never know what to expect. Like if you go on a date with a 27-year-old, generally speaking, they're not all the same, but the variance is not as crazy as it would be for that 36 to 39-year-old single, never married demographic of men. And then, of course, she says you'll never know what he'll look like, how he'll be, what he'll say. They are so unhinged. And of course, she's getting general responses on TikTok. Some are like positive or funny stitches of men just engaging in their hobbies. Some are bringing up more serious things that maybe people are going through. Like it's, capitalism. It's hard to make money. And, a lot of people just maybe aren't feeling secure to date. And so there's a lot of late bloomers. Yeah. And then, of course, there is the angry male responses about, you could say the same for women. Like, bah, 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 bah. Sure. And then, of course, she did a response to someone who said, well, what's your opinion on 31 to 35-year-old women? It's really just causing a lot of discussion, some good, some bad, about people who are single in their 30s, single, never married, no kids in their 30s. I wish I had the video to share with you. She took it down. Okay. I think it was getting a lot of the, red pill incel-y types. Okay. But what are your thoughts based on what I have just shared?
Well, first of all, is there a description, anything descriptive where she's giving the features or characteristics to these people? Because just saying they're unhinged and wild, I'm like, that's not painting a picture for me. What are they like? What's wrong with them?
So that's the thing, and that's where I think the kind of misinterpretation I think is going, because all she said, the words she's choosing are very strong that sound like insults, like out of pocket. There is no more unhinged, unhinged demographic. There's she's using all these terms, but really, if you strip out the, kind of triggering buzzwords in there, I think what she is saying is there's a lot more, a lot of 22-year-olds, for example, are going to be like their other 22-year-old peers. A 27-year-old, generally speaking, lives a life similar to other 27-year-olds. Once you get into that 36 to 39-year-old range, you don't know what you're going to get. It could vary a lot, which is how I heard it when you take, I think she chose buzzwords that I think triggered people. But if you take kind of the roots out of, the unhinged type words, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, because when people get older, there's sort of a, I don't know, like you go your separate paths. Like people go their separate paths, and you're further along down that path of what you've chosen in life. And yeah, it's going to be different from other people.
And I'm so curious what it is that causes that. Like what does a marriage prevent? Like, how does that prevent someone from being unhinged or crazy? Does that, I mean, ultimately, is that just meaning that, like, getting married means you can't, like, explore your interests at the same depth that you would if you were single?
So, like, because I didn't know if I should interpret unhinged as just, like, oh my gosh, like, you show up and you just don't know what you're going to get, and that's why it's unhinged, because it's less predictable. Or, like, if she's just saying, like, these guys are unhinged, which, if that is the case, if you're calling 36 to 39-year-old men who have never been married, no kids, unhinged because, you know, something must mean, like there must be a reason they've never been married. Like, I don't think that's fair. I also think, like, when I heard this, I'm like, this is more of a millennial problem than it is gendered. Like, there's a lot of, you know, millennials who, you know, haven't taken dating seriously because they don't feel secure. And you can say, like, oh, you know, well, men don't care about that for women. But I think there's a lot of women who would feel uncomfortable prioritizing dating if they didn't have a job or felt like they didn't know how they would afford next month's rent. They might say, like, dating's taking a backseat for the job hunt or something like that. So I think, like, it's more of a, you know, 2024, you know, millennial insecurity type problem than it is, you know, a men-woman thing. And yeah, I think there's kind of more diversity in paths. Like, I also think too, like, where was I going with that? I think just something I think, because I think she mentioned, like, they all look so different when it comes to age. I do think, like, in general, your 30s is when, you know, life choices start catching up to you. You know, if you're a smoker, like, it starts to show in your 30s, whereas in your 20s, like, you know, maybe you could get away with smoking a lot.
It
shows up in your 30s.
Yeah, the bad habits catch up.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And, like,
interesting.
I think because I've, like, noticed too, and maybe it's, and obviously, like, married people are kind of in the mix for this one. But for example, when I go home to our hometown and I bump into friends who I adore and love, there's something like we almost look like we're different ages because we live in different places. Like, they just kind of, they dress differently, or, like, there's certain things, like, I think.
And are you talking specifically about, like, your married friends or just friends from back home?
In general, I think it's just, like, there's, like, the life choices catch up to you or lack thereof. Like, if someone, you know, you can't eat a bunch of drunk pizza, and then not have it and not look like you eat a bunch of drunk pizza when you're in your 30s. I think that's where it comes from. I think genetics play a role too. Like, you know, maybe men start, like, losing their hair, like, and that's normal too. Like, I think the whole, like, men are bald, blah, blah, blah. It's like you used to just get married in your 20s, and then you would be married to them by the time that happened.
Yes. Oh, like, yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even, like, consider that.
Yeah.
That, like, male pattern baldness has only become a bigger issue because
they're dating.
Men are single when they're older.
Yeah.
Oh,
and, like,
my
that's
God.
why, like, baldness never bothered me, I'll be honest. Like, it's just sort of like,
yeah, I think for a time I was a little like, and now it doesn't really bother me at all.
Unless you have a George Costanza haircut, like, I don't care.
Sure.
I thought Bruce Willis was hot when
the George Costanza, just get rid of it all.
It's like,
hey.
pick a lane. Pick a lane. But no, like, I think that's really why it's become more of an issue. But
okay.
And I also think too, like, in general, like, that 36 to 39 single, or, like, you could say the same for women, even if women, you want to make it 31 to 35.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's also just, sometimes that's just how the chips fall. If you're single at that age, like, I think some people are like, well, if you're single at that age, you must have done something wrong. And, like, some people, like, are there the people that, you know, dating is a priority and they are unhinged and crazy and they scare away everybody who, you know, might be interested in a relationship because they just, you know, don't have their shit together? Yes. But I think there's also, you know, people that are in these, like, 5-year-long serious relationships that don't end in marriage, and oh my gosh, you're single at 31 or 32. Like, and I wouldn't say it's people, like, the people that are saying, like, I'm so happy single and blah blah blah, like, you know, that are talking about dating, I don't think they fall in this category. But if you go see, like, PhD students at any university that are unmarried, like, they are not thinking about dating. Like, it's very, like, you know, there's other priorities that they have where they just, like, stumble in a relationship. It's like, oh, that dating's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling.
No. I hear it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like, we sometimes it's just how the chips fall is what I mean. Like you're just like, oh shit, I am single and 36, or oh, I'm single and 31.
Yeah. So I feel like you would know the statistics around this because it's like common knowledge that women are choosing not to get married like until an older age than they used to, right? Like it's a lot more like women are choosing, choosing their career over marriage more often now.
So the weird thing about that is like the study that people keep pointing to for that focuses on women, but the men's statistics parallel it. So it also,
I was going to ask, what's the statistic for men? So, are they choosing not to get married as well?
So I don't even know if it's so much a choice as much as they're looking at there are more people that are at XYZ age who are unmarried. Because and I think like it's also kind of interesting because if you go and ask people why they're not like married or why they're single, like they'll say like, oh, like they could. A lot of people think that if they could be married, they would be married tomorrow, and they'll just say like, oh, I'm choosing to be single. Like, and I think that way of phrasing it is kind of deceiving. Single by choice. Like it doesn't mean like I will not be in a relationship. I am choosing singleness. Like no relationships for me. I think it's more like I choose to be single over just like desperately
not prioritizing
to something.
Yeah.
And so I hate the phrase like single by choice because I think it doesn't represent like it's always like an option of A, B, C, D, like single by choice, and I think that's a deceiving way to refer to it. But no, the study that people look to, and it actually this actually really pisses me off. It's a study by Morgan Stanley from 2019 that was done for like different like brands that have female audiences, basically saying that women between the age that are of marriageable age 25 to 45 are they kept saying choosing to be single. They're more likely to be single.
Okay.
Or it's by 2030 like 45% of women will be single that are between this age demo, 25 to 45. And the like so because of this as opposed to 10 years ago, women of that age demo might be married. Women have more disposable income. Instead of buying baby food for their kids, they have extra money to spend on handbags and designer stuff. So hey, banks, go invest in Gucci instead of Gerber. That's the point of this study.
Gucci instead of Gerber. Okay,
exactly.
yeah.
And so that is the study. And that was the intention of it. It's basically just like, hey, go invest your money in these brands. But for some reason, this study has been pulled by like dork pill shit and everything like that.
Sure.
And used to say like, look at all these women are gonna die alone. Like totally forgetting the fact that it's more so that people are getting married later. It's just that the 25 to 30 demo is skewing that. Like you're that's
okay.
pisses me off.
Sure.
But no, it's really just and of course they didn't look at the men's one because it wasn't about that. It was about how are women spending their money. The men's study parallels that. It's just like skewed like 3 or 4 years older. What do you know? The average age gap between married couples is 2 to 3 years. It's really, a lot more people are just delaying marriage. Like the average age of first marriage, I think, is like 29 for women, 32 for men.
And we don't have any reason, like the reasoning for that is ambiguous. Like we couldn't directly say, oh, people are choosing it or people financially can't afford it or people are choosing their career, prioritizing, or dating is just hard. Like there's no real like one thing to point at.
No, and it's also because they use census data. So the U.S. Census measures married couples and households.
Yes.
So which is good because it's actually going off who is married.
Yeah.
But you could be engaged to somebody. So when they're saying single, they mean legally single. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm happily in a committed relationship. I am legally single.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
And so engaged people cohabiting, like it's measuring
common law doesn't count.
I don't know. I think like there was a study that looked at like households or something and like that changed things. But yeah, so it's looking at like who is legally single. They're not going and surveying people. I also think there's like selection bias when it comes to surveys. Only chronically online nerds take surveys. And also if you ask anybody, why are you single? They will tell you like, it's a choice. Like, they'll say like everyone believes you could be in a relationship tomorrow, but you're just not that desperate. So they'll say I'm choosing to be single. Like that's what the answer you're going to get from everybody.
But also I really sincerely believe that like I think generally people they're less they're less determined to get into like a serious marriage focused relationship, just because they're kind of like, well, if it's if it comes, it comes. Like, I'm waiting for somebody who's really gonna like impact my life and be an excellent compliment to me.
Oh, totally.
Not, like, oh shit, I'm 28 and I better fucking lock it down.
There's 100% less of that. And I think, there's a lot of people that are chasing a ghost. Like, they know, they open their phone, there are more people out there. This person is good, but not great. There's nothing wrong with this person. I do like them, but maybe there's this person that just feels a little bit better of a fit. Thing is, though, all those people are still that are doing that and they're still single or whatever. They're still late 20s, 30s, something like that. We don't know if they're going to die alone yet. Maybe they'll meet each other in their late 30s.
Die alone is die alone. Stupid.
Never marry by the time
Never
you die.
marry.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's like that's.
Die alone.
I hate calling. Yeah,
sure.
Sorry, that was the wrong choice of words. I think something that are.
It's the drastic, worst case scenario that it seems like we're all kind of presented with. It's like, oh, if you don't get married, if you are undesirable, if you don't end up in a relationship, die alone. You'll die alone surrounded by cats. Like, that's really weird. We're like, oh no,
so weird.
Oh God.
And that is another thing I didn't like about this woman's video is just, I hate it when men do that, like where it's like oh, you're not married by 30. When it's like, first off, the average age of first marriage is 29. That means there's people getting married older than that. I watch 30-something-year-old women get into relationships with age-appropriate men every single day.
Okay.
And have babies. Like, I know, like, the people that are having babies in my circle of friends all did so, over 30. Like, it's...
Yeah.
So
under 30 having a baby, I'm like... I'm just
thinking,
a little guy. You're just a kid.
Let's call up, 16 and pregnant for you. No.
Yeah.
But, real. So I hate that. And so it's just, kind of feeding that fire of, you missed your chance or, you did something wrong. And I hate that. And there's a lot of great people who meet their spouse at an older age.
It's interesting though, the never married aspect of it. So she had been saying ages 30?
36 to 39 for men. Yeah.
That's a very short amount of time. Interesting. But yeah, I guess that would be kind of the time where they really are starting to feel pressure. Okay. Do you know what taxi cab theory is?
Yep. Yeah.
You want to explain?
Yeah. So it's basically just when a man decides he's ready to get married, he will decide when he is ready, and then at that point you have to get a guy while his light's on. Which basically when he's ready, he will marry the first woman in front of him that he has a connection with,
even though the right girl could have been a year ago, or the right girl could have been just within his reach, but he wasn't ready, so he didn't marry her, and now his light's on and he's just going to marry whoever's in front of him.
I just think that's an interesting one, because first off, I think there's a lot of survival bias for stuff like that. It's very, you're not going to get married until you're ready in general, and I think a lot of people, when they find their person, they truly believe it is their person. I don't think there's any guy who's it's my time to get married, there's somebody. Oh no, there's a one that I don't think it is like that. I think that there's certain things in your life that make you more ready, and you're just asking different questions.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's ever okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna I don't think that.
Do you think that's something that was invented by a bitter ex-girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
Bitter ex-girlfriend thing.
But I'm hey, been there. Okay, I got that for sure. Definitely.
Yeah. It is the most, it's we all tell ourselves these things. There's things that guys say where
fumbled, you missed out.
Yeah, there's things that guys describe about how women date that I'm no, that's not how it goes. But I mean, if that makes you feel better, if that helps you get over somebody, I get as long as you can tell yourself that, it's oh, she just was using me for the food or something like that. And it's no, I went on a date with you and didn't like you, but I guess you can tell yourself that if it, I don't think it will help you, but if it makes you feel better, go for it. I don't care.
Interesting. Okay, I'm glad you shed light on that, because I definitely Actually, I think we were gonna talk about this a little bit later in the podcast.
Yeah, we've got talking cliches.
Yeah, cliches.
I think we should take the first listener question. Do you want to read it? I feel like You've said you wanted to read the questions.
I'll read it.
Just read it with a way that is animated, and I'm sorry if the print is small. You get the funny one.
No, I got it. All right, let's see. Let me pull this a little bit yet. Okay, first one. Oh God, this one's so funny. Okay. I've been on a few dates with a guy
what's
I met.
The subject line? Read the
Sorry. Oh, mailbag. Getting the ick because of his name.
Ooh.
Okay. I've been on a few dates with a guy that I met on the apps. It's been great so far. We've Netflixed and chilled already, but still have good dates in between. It feels like it's progressing, and I really like him. But there's one weird little issue that I'm not sure how to handle. On the apps, my guy had his name as Jay, J-A-Y. That's how he introduced himself, and that's what I've been calling him. He has a relatively common Jewish last name that I didn't really think twice about. I've never had to use it much until now. Our last date was to an axe throwing venue, and he put his credit card down. As we were leaving, we went to close out, and the clerk asked for his name. It's under Epstein. First name? Jeffrey. Oh! The clerk laughed and handed him his card, saying something like, "Damn, even spelled the same way and everything." As we left, I said to Jay, or Jeffrey, "Wait, your name is really Jeffrey?" He said he had to switch things up for obvious reasons, but went by Jeffrey or Jeff up until a few years ago. His family and close friends call him Jeffrey. I'm dating Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. I know this man has zero control over his given name, as well as the actions of those he may share with it. But I can't help but think about his full name every time I talk to him and correlate it with the more infamous Jeffrey Epstein versus the Jeff that I've been seeing. I think I'm also anxious when it comes time to introduce him to others or be in situations where I'd have to use his full name. I worry about my friends making jokes or having to explain that he's totally normal and doesn't run a sex trafficking ring. Is it weird that this bothers me? Is it stupid to be turned off by someone's name? Well.
What if you guys go to like a Hawaii vacation? You're just going to an island with Jeffrey Epstein.
Mean that. So this is truly like the most egregious example of something like this that I could possibly think of. Jeffrey fucking Epstein. You're done. It's
actually because it's not an uncommon last name, and it's like all your parents have to do is name you Jeffrey, and fuck you, like.
Dude, I don't think that I would. I think I would have a problem with somebody whose name sounds dumb if you say it during sex. You know what I mean? What I mean?
There are some names I can't imagine.
If someone went by Gregory and I had to call him Gregory, no.
I feel like that's the name of a cat.
No,
but like. I think of like all the Bradens and Aidens and all of that. I'm like, oh my God. Like
they're cringy, but you could say that during sex.
Just, but no, I know one worse name. There was someone on TikTok, they're like, who has the worst name? And it was a girl named Isis Snowden. ISIS Snowden.
Oh, I love it. That's so funny. Oh my God.
At least you're not dating Isis Snowden. Oh my God. But
that's funny. Damn.
Jeff, so I do like that he's self-aware. Like I would like to think someone like that has a sense of humor. It sounds like he's prepared to answer the questions.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse. Like I will say, like Epstein is I've worked with and had like been in school with like several Epsteins, not related to Jeffrey Epstein. They are great people. They are not sex traffickers.
Great people.
They are. Shout out Adam Epstein. We love Adam Epstein. We're Adam. This is the Adam Epstein podcast. Come on the pod, Adam. Hope you're doing well. But I've met plenty of Epsteins that are not sex traffickers.
Sure.
I've also met plenty of Jeffreys. At least his name isn't spelled with a G. Geoff.
Sure.
Yeah, he's a J. I mean, J names. People do say that the J names can be a problem.
Damn, that's so funny. When I look back, everybody that I've dated has a normal name.
Yeah,
and I've definitely met like really hot guys with really fucked up names.
I've had some interesting. names.
One that oh God, I hope he never sees this. This guy from my high school I was obsessed with. So fine. Nuggy. Yeah. But I'm just like,
I remember. Yeah, relationships with people that are, first generation American, and they had names that were kind of that. I don't think I've ever been a shout the name in the bed person.
No.
No.
Oh, no?
But yeah, and then my current significant other goes by Buddy. Like, it's like, hey, buddy, like, what's up,
buddy? That's so true. That's so.
I love it. I like that name. Like, Buddy Garrity in Friday Night Lights was great. Like, I think there's just, it's a good like name. It just like reminds you of like the good-hearted football coach. Like,
it is kind of like a good old boy, like good. Southern.
And he like reminds, like it's just like he's like, in some ways like the character in the movie, like when you go home, you're the rich lawyer and you go home and like you bring your like boyfriend, and then there's like a hot hometown hunk who runs a Christmas tree farm that's about to go out of business and he needs your help and he teaches you the meaning of Christmas. Like, that is Buddy.
That's Buddy.
He is the hometown hunk who teaches you the meaning of Christmas.
Okay.
Yes.
Glad you wrote a story for him. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other like weirdo names that I absolutely would not have anything to do with.
But I would tell this girl that it could be worse. Epstein is it's a very common last name. Jeffrey is a common first name. Now those two coming together as a name and dating Jeffrey Epstein. I think he's got a good thing going with calling himself Jay. It seems like he's self-aware. I think, you know, like,
he's probably so self-conscious of it, dude.
I feel like he has fun with it. If he's saying like, I know, like, he sounds like a good time. He's girl axe throwing with him.
You think he likes the attention?
We love Jeffrey Epstein. Shout out.
He likes the Jeffrey Epstein.
I think he has fun with it. Like, you've got a built-in joke. Like, anytime there's a fun fact at work that you have to give, something is handed to you.
Yeah.
It's a good icebreaker. Like, oh my God, there's no awkward icebreakers. I'm Jeffrey Epstein. Like, you don't have to worry about bringing this guy to your friends because he's got built-in talking points. We stand Jeffrey. This is the Jeffrey Epstein podcast.
True. No, I've always wondered if anybody had an issue with my name, too, because you, me, and our little brother, we all have very, like, Victorian names.
You know what's interesting? When I Google you, because our last name is Warren. There's the movie Annabelle about the doll.
Oh.
And the family that did their exorcism, I don't know what they are. Their last name is Warren. So if you Google Annabelle Warren,
by the way, charlatans. They're not.
And if you Google Annabelle Warren, who is a very like known tattoo artist at this point, you should be seeing art pop up. But no,
she's saying I'm famous.
You get creepy ass dolls.
Yeah, that's
funny.
Actually.
I love sending you the Annabelle Comes Home when it's Christmas time.
Annabelle Comes Home.
Oh my God.
Ever since I was old enough to Google my name, which was probably like 10 years old, that was the first story that came up.
And
because that story exists. That happened in like the 70s.
Yeah.
And Ed and Lorraine Warren, I mean, Lorraine was alive up until like a few years ago. Like
she's dead?
Yeah.
R.I.P.
And she's dead. She just recently died. And the Annabelle doll, it doesn't look like a scary evil doll.
No, it looks like Raggedy
It's a Raggedy Ann doll. And I know, they're kind of hitting. And I had Raggedy Ann dolls in my room growing up. Old ones. And I asked Mom if I could put them away because they scared me. And she was like, no, leave them there. They're cute. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've always known that story.
You said there's like names of guys you wouldn't date if they were weird to scream. How would you date somebody?
The first one that I think of is Gregory, because I remember there was a boy that like really liked me in middle school named Gregory, and
I remember that. I know who you're talking about.
What was it? Gregory Robichaud or something like that.
Yes. Could you date somebody that shared the same name as a family member? Could you date a David or a Theo? That's our dad and our brother.
Yeah, I've dated a David.
Could you date a Theo?
No.
Theo Vaughn.
You dated a Theo.
Dated is a term I would
You dated a Theo in high school.
Yes, for like 4 weeks in high school.
That's right.
That doesn't count. High school, do you want to go out with me? You use the word go out in high school.
I could date a David. I couldn't date a dad. Like if his name was Dad, no. But I don't call my father by his first name.
Fair.
So no. But Theo might be a little
Theo Vaughn.
A little weird for me. I don't know.
Theo Vaughn.
I
think, Theo now gets questions of, what do you think of Theo Vaughn? He's like, what the fuck?
Theo Vaughn.
We stand our brother, who has zero interest in any sort of public profile.
Yes. Absolutely.
And he's about to graduate college very soon. Congratulations.
Hey.
Stay in school.
Theo.
Could you date someone who shared a name with your ex?
I've thought about this because I would every so often I would come up across like on Hinge or whatever.
Yeah, and you've had some exes with common names as
well. Oh my God, that's so crazy. Bailey and I were at like Honky Tonk Bar a few weeks ago.
Which one? White Horse?
Samstown. and there was a guy sitting behind us, and she was like, oh, that guy's cute. I turn around, has the exact same face as my ex. Like the same face. And then the next day she's like, oh, he followed me. Same name as my ex.
Damn.
Same name. It's like, that's so scary. But every time I would come across someone with the same name as my ex, I'm like, you know what? No.
Yeah.
No. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. And it's like a pretty common name too. It's not like it's, it's like a fuckboy ass name.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's a no for me. What about you?
I would, yeah. Like, I mean, it depends. Like,
your exes have kind of particular names.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think it would be, there's somewhere I don't see that happening. Like, but like there's somewhere it's like, yeah, I mean, it would just, it doesn't register as like that unique. I mean, there's somewhere I'd be like, okay, like, but like, I just think it's rare just because I think it's like they maybe were like first generation Americans and like it's from a specific nationality. You just don't come across a lot. So like those I don't think so much, but there's somewhere it's like, names that like I've met like 5 Travises. Like I've like literally been on like dates with like 5 different Travises.
Wow.
Like there's a lot of Travises. And we're in Travis County.
Well, Travis is a hot guy name.
I would say so.
I think there's hot guy names.
There are hot guy names. That is fair.
Spencer, hot guy name.
Spencer is a hot guy name.
It is. Unavoidable. It's just a hot guy name. There's nothing you can do about it.
What are other hot guy names?
Bro, I'm such a sucker for the like Kai.
I like the woodsy.
Skylar.
I like the woodsy names. So I like Hunter, Forrest, Parker.
Remember Skylar? That was the hottest guy in our high school. He was like, so fine.
We can't do too many names.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm drinking.
We are the rule is if their name is mentioned, they get invited on the what?
I dated a guy named Earl. He went by EJ. But I dated an Earl, and I remember being like, oh, honey, we better keep it at EJ because Earl is not hitting for me. Earl James. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm wasting time right now. Should we move on to that?
Oh my God. Dixie Chicks, Goodbye Earl is a great song.
Goodbye, Earl.
Listen to Goodbye Earl. Goodbye Earl. Everybody, this is our endorsement for Mission Craft Cocktails. This is the best.
Yeah, it's a real yeehaw drink. You know what I mean?
We're having a great time. I'm bummed we're not hanging out, but I'm happy for you as well. Oh, we got a complicated question. Okay,
let's hear it.
I'll start with we'll knock through the quick hit quickly. Okay, popular dating cliches or cliche advice. Is there anything that falls in that category, despite the cliche nature and as cringy as it is to repeat it, that you stand behind? And examples of this, I mean, is, talking about when you meet somebody, oh, it'll happen when you least expect it, or opposites attract. There's other fish in the sea. Are there any popular cliches that you're like, I agree with that, and I will ride or die for it?
I think the only thing that you know what? No, because I guess it defies a cliche, right? Because if he wanted to, he would. It kind of defies that. I believe strongly in the opposite stance on that.
Interesting. Okay.
Only because I feel that now, having experienced life and having seen what like past relationships have gone on and continued to do to other people, I sincerely believe, I kind of was of the mindset of oh fuck, he was so terrible to me, he screwed me over, and I was so upset after it ended because I was like, he's gonna move on and he's gonna find a perfect model girl who's she's an IG baddie and she's gonna give him everything he wanted that I couldn't give him. Turns out that's not a fucking thing, first of all. If you're dating a dude like that, promise you, swear to God, he will move on and do the exact same thing to someone else. He will you did not make him become a dickhead. He will be a dickhead to whoever's in front of him. And he will blame the last girl that he dated every single fucking time.
Well, people are who they are.
They are who they are, and it's not going to quit. And I have so much evidence for that now,
Yeah.
And it just it just continues down the line. So
I agree, and I think that pivots into our mailbag is asking about if he wanted to, he would. From a gentleman listener Shout out. We love our kings. No, it just says, thoughts on if he wanted to, he would. This is more of a general question, but curious to get your ladies' thoughts on if he wanted to, he would. I hear women say this to other women a lot, and I feel like it's unfair to men. A lot of the actions women say this in reference to are grand gestures outside the average guy's budget, or that are wildly too huge within the dating stage. I'm excited for first dates, but I'm not going to drop everything for one. It also seems to be used with an expectation that guys can read minds. I don't want to go out of my way to give someone something that they might not even want in the first place, whether it be another date, a certain type of date, or a gift. And if I don't know for a fact someone's interested, the risk is way too high for coming off as creepy or give the ick. There are plenty of times where I do want to, but I would only want to if they want to. Thoughts? Why do women say this so much?
That's so interesting because I really haven't thought about this in terms of how a man might feel about that statement.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be daunting, honestly, for someone to say oh, if he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to send you flowers and take you out on a fancy date, he would. But when I say something like that in my head, it's if he wanted to text you, if he wanted to talk to you and hear from you and hear about your day, he would.
And that's the thing is that statement is designed for the woman who went on a first date that she thought she had a great time, and she's like, he seemed to be having fun. He seemed interested. Afterwards she sends a text, I would love to see you again. He hasn't texted back, and she's just like, why?
Exactly.
He must be so busy with work. He must have gotten hit by a car. That's why he hasn't texted. And then you have to be like,
I really hope he got hit by a car.
If he wanted to, he would. Or the girl who's she's got some guy who's been texting her who's like, oh yeah, want to come over later? She wants a date. And she's like, hey, how about we get, drinks at the garage bar, a real date? And he's like, I've been so busy with work, blah, 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 blah. And the date doesn't happen. He says, but I really want to. It'll happen when I'm done being busy. Every single excuse in the world. She's like, he's so busy with work. So, but she's getting more excited about him because of these hypothetical plans that are never coming to fruition. That girl needs to be told if he that's where it applies. But of course, if he wanted to, he would gets applied to if you go to any NBA players, TikTok or their fiancés, and they show the proposal video, you click on the comments, the first thing that is in there is if he wanted to, he would. And
it's always some extravagant gesture.
Yeah, and it's that's not if he wanted to. No, I'm sure no average guy can afford this $100,000 proposal. That is not if he wanted to, he would. And so right. I agree with that there. And it's also, this guy makes a point about reading minds of, you kind of have to it shouldn't be applied to you want him to read your mind or oh yeah, if he wants to, he will do this grand gesture. It's for the women who are hung up on these sort of, guys that they keep making excuses for. And but for some reason, because it's this easy thing to say that's been said a million times, it gets applied to everything else. So I would tell this guy, this doesn't apply to you unless you have a girl. And I also think too, if you're the guy that is being talked about as if he wanted to, he would in the right way, you probably don't know. And I'm saying this in a kind of a weird way, but so if he wanted to, he would. I really think, because I think a lot of guys too, it's if you ask any guy who says, I'm not ready for a relationship right now, or, I really would love to hang out, but I am so busy with work. It is not some diabolical plan. They are not sitting there saying that and saying I don't really want to hang out, but I'll say it because it's nice. Or I would be down for a relationship with somebody that, is better, but, it's just, this is just the answer I'm giving to her. I'm not ready for a relationship with her, but you know how they say not ready for a relationship or not looking for a relationship really means not looking for a relationship with you. It's not, and I hate that fucking advice. Sorry. I think most people what they say when they say things, they genuinely believe what they are saying as they are saying it. I think most guys, if they're saying I'm so busy with work, I would love to hang out, they truly believe it to be true. They really believe themselves to be too busy. But it's one of those things that it's not a conscious thing. And I think this isn't just a guy dating thing or anything like that. I think that applies to everything. Because we're in Austin, do you get texts from people right before the weekend starts where it's hey, I'm gonna be in Austin, somebody that you know, I'm gonna be in Austin, do you want to hang out? And there's some people where it's I get that text and I'm holy shit, so and so is gonna be in town, what's your schedule? And then there's other people where I'm I'll be here. Like, let's see if we can make something work. It's been really hectic.
You're
and it's never
so
conscious
mean. That's crazy.
No, it's never like it's never like when I get but like it's not a conscious. It's just me reflecting back. Like,
but this is you also prioritizing certain people, right?
But,
or no?
It's not a conscious thing when it happens. Like if I get a text like that, I'm like, it's never like, oh, if this person was in this league, it would be different. It's just like, I'm so like, I truly believe I am busy. I mean what I'm saying. But like, there's just something psychological where it's like you're willing to move something around. Like if my best friend Kristen is like, I'm going to be in Austin tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'd take there would be no questions asked. I'd take a PTO day. I would do like these things.
Yeah.
If somebody that was like, I don't know, like a person I knew from my sorority or something like that, I'd be like, yeah, like here's what I'm doing. Like we could grab a drink. Like it's not this thing where you like really think ahead for it. So I do think it's like a subconscious thing. Like when we want to do something, we do it. Yeah.
Yes. So what I will say from that is, if he wanted to, he would. What I like interpret that as is he will prioritize you. Only not in a financial sense, but only in a sense that like if a man likes you, you'll know. And I feel like
I would agree with, but I don't think that's the same as if he wanted to, he would.
They're cousins. I like the last year. I remember, I had that in the back of my mind. I'm like, I know that's true because I've experienced it before. But in the last year, I was kind of like, well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I need to read the signals better. I'm not reading I'm not playing the game right. And then now I'm seeing somebody where I'm like, oh yeah. If they like you, they will show you. That being said, I have changed my mind about like if he wanted to spend money on you, he would, because I think that like honestly the best parts of our relationship are when we're just talking. And it's not like we're just sitting there talking about our relationship. We're talking about everything. We're discussing everything. We're sharing ideas. And so it's like I don't think that like the grand gesture like really does a ton for the relationship.
Totally.
So, I think it's all about time. Like if he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to see you really badly and he wanted to hear from you and talk to you and like build this thing, he would take time away from his friends. He would take time away from video games.
Yes. So I agree with that, but if he wanted to, he would loses me is it assigns meaning to actions that it assigns meanings to actions that might not be how they were intended. That sounds like a weird way to put it. But basically, so if he wanted to, he would. Like it says, because people always say, like, look at people's actions, not their words. Anybody can say nice things. Anyone can say, I would love to take you out to dinner, but oh my God, I'm so busy.
But you... Okay, sorry, go ahead.
But like, I'm so busy. Look at their actions, not their words. Don't like them more based on this idea that hasn't come to fruition. But the problem is it doesn't work in the inverse. And something you see a lot with like, especially women who are in big cities, dating guys, late 20s, 30s, who have money and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that guys will do that maybe how many times, okay, have you seen women who say, he took me out on all these nice dates. It cost a bunch of money. He invited me as a +1 to this fancy gathering. Holy shit, he wants a girlfriend. Like, this is all things a guy would do if he was looking for a girlfriend. Just to have that guy say, oh, no, I'm not ready for a relationship.
Turns out he just has money.
Exactly. But that's the thing.
It. You're the accessory to him.
Or it's just sometimes certain actions don't carry the same weight that they would to someone than another person. Like there's some, how there's some people that are like, everybody meets my family. And then there's some people where it's like, you met the parents, like we're getting married. Like it assigns, like it basically says, oh, if he wanted to, he would. Like if you look at the world, like, okay, like he took me on the dates. He did all these things. He did these things. So he would. So that means he wants to.
Wow. The inverse.
Yes. So he would, like, he's doing the woods, and it assumes that he wants to, or it assigns meaning to things. Because, like, there's certain things and, like, actions, like, people, oh, look at the actions. Look, not the words. Look at the actions.
I feel like it's better phrased as, if he wants you, he will tell you.
That too, because like so many times too, if you just told a guy like come be my +1 to the Met Gala or something, oh my God, he wants to marry me. If you say to that guy who can go to the Met Gala, which means he's successful, holy shit, are we getting married? Like, are his words gonna say that? He's probably like, I got tickets to the Met Gala and you're hot. Oh my God. This is your ad to get mission.
The Met Gala. Okay, yeah, definitely. I do think I do think that if a man really likes you, he will tell you.
Exactly.
He will tell you because, I mean,
you'll know.
You'll know. Yeah. You'll
he'll tell you, the actions will back it up.
I mean, but then again, it also depends on the type of man. So I think it's like if there's a man who likes you and is ready for some level of commitment, you will know. You know, he might like you, but he's like,
yeah,
all over the place.
He probably had some mission cocktails.
Yeah. The other like anti-cliche, I guess, that I've matured, things have changed for me, right? When I was younger, I was kind of like, I don't want to date a guy who is just in a long relationship, like a long-term relationship, because then you're competing with the ex-girlfriend, you're comparing yourself. There's all this, like, you know, they have history. You can't beat it. But now I'm like, what kind of relationships has this man had in the past? Have they been long-term? Is he capable of that? Is he capable of, like, you know, sustaining and growing a relationship? And does he only want one person at a time? Whereas, you know, like prior to that, I was like, oh, wow, I found a guy who's never had like a crazy serious relationship. I'm going to be his first. I would change his life.
And I would never want to be with, it's like the person that's like, I've just got out of a relationship. It's like, okay, that person needs some time.
Sure.
But you know, if they've been in serious relationships, it means they believe in relationships, or if they are divorced, they've been married before, they believe in marriage to some extent. If they're like, I fucking hate my ex-wife,
but they know how to live with someone, how to share lives and share ideas with someone,
exactly.
And how to, you know, like it really doesn't. I think it speaks much more to their character.
Agreed.
Than somebody who can only have 6-month relationships at a time.
Fair.
Or less.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, cheers.
Oh cheers.
These mission cocktails, you will have a great time.
I had 2 of these and I'm like, bah!
No, I am too. I'm like, oh shit.
Woo! I know, huh?
Let's do some, like, let's chill for a little bit after this.
Yeah.
Before, I want to meet Mystery Annabelle.
You know what's crazy?
What?
He has...
Do I know him?
No. He has an embroidery studio downstairs. In this same fucking building. I'm not kidding. Literally, like, directly downstairs.
Hold on. Okay, this is the conversation that we can...
This is private,
I like him.
This is private between me, my sister, and you guys. Other cliche that I was so sold on, I only want to date another, like, tattooer that's the only other person that could understand, like, my daily life and, like, being an artist. No, bitch. Creativity is so 3-dimensional. Like, this is such an incredibly creative person who is totally on the outskirts of, like...
I love him already.
You know what's crazy?
What?
Okay. Whenever I date a new person, I go through who they're following. And you can pick up a lot of red flags from that. So, like, fucking, like, my ex was following all these models, IG models. And I just kind of had to be like... It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all good. Surely he won't do me wrong. But like I was so scared to do this, but I went through my dude's following. This man, the only hot girl that he's following is Zoe Kravitz.
Okay, I would follow Zoe.
And he told me long before that was his, like, celebrity crush. The only girl. And everything else, like, there's women in there, but it's, like, tattooers or you know, like, people that he knows.
Yeah.
It's not... that's something I will fucking stand on business with. That is a cliche where I'm like, If he's following IG models, IG baddies, like left and right, I don't like that.
We don't like it.
Don't like that at all. So
we stand Mr. Annabelle, whose name will keep a mystery until you're ready to share it.
Okay.
We love you, Mr. Annabelle.
Mystery Man, I'll tell you in
Mr. Annabelle. We're calling him Mr. Annabelle.
Mr. Annabelle.
Woo. All right.
Okay.
I guess it's an over and out. We'll have a next episode.
All right.
Whenever you're free next. Yeah. These are fun. Oh my God. Mission cocktails. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Don't get buccal fat removal.
Charlotte says, don't get buccal fat removal.
You'll ruin your face. Anya Taylor-Joy, Mila Kunis, and Miley Cyrus, the three of them ruin their face.
It's so sad. Who convinced them?
Leave this in.
Don't tell anyone.
Eric, leave this in. Eric, leave this in. Don't listen to her. I pay you, Eric. We stand Eric. Shout out Eric.
Cheers.
Eric and Bianca, we miss you.